Hey guys, welcome back to CKC, and today we're going to be taking a stock Power Wheels C7 and adding a front splitter in this episode, like so. We constantly get asked how we do this or where do we get it. Well guys, we just order it up from Jags. If they don't have it, we just dial up Summit and they just ship us what we need. Heck no, guys. All this stuff is custom made. You can't just order parts like you can for real cars. So, what we've got is we've got a C7 over there, and we're going to take that front nose and we are going to go through step by step and make you guys a template. And on this particular unit, we did a two-part splitter. And originally we had this thicker, it's 1/4 inch thick on top, and we actually liked the contrast here and the kind of the way that it did a step. It looked a lot like real C7 splitters. So what we did is we just put it on the bottom. So this next one that we're going to make together, I'm going to make this come out a little bit farther so that it actually has a lip on the outside. So I actually really like to make every single one unique and different. So I'm always trying different stuff. So that being said, let's get started. Okay guys, to make this front splitter, what you're going to need is some materials. So we're going to put the links in the description. You can get them from Amazon. You can also find those at your local hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. So what we're using is high density polyethylene. And for the main support structure, we're using the 1/4 inch. And check it out, it's got a smooth on one side and then a textures on the other. Take your artistic freedom. What do you guys want? On this one, we did the smooth side up so that it was shiny. You can do it the opposite way. We've tried sanding this with poor success. It did not look good. You can see all of the swirl marks and stuff. What you might want to do is take a Scotch-Brite pad and then scuff it and then paint it black so that it's a consistent color, because it is going to have some scuffs and dents and dings. So we're probably going to maybe do that on this one too. And then the other thing you're going to need is the thin 1/8 inch material, because what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that it actually has the splitter part, and then we're going to have wings. And these are baby wings. We made medium wings that we can just add on. And what I think we're going to do is we're going to make some really big ones. What the heck, we can always trim them back if we don't like how big they are. But I kind of want it to go up the whole... I'm kind of wanting it to go up the whole side of this piece right here. So we're going to make them unique, and if you guys want to change it, feel free. So you've got your material in front of you. I believe we bought a 2 feet by 3 feet piece of material. So you are going to need some tools for this, so let's go over those so you guys are properly prepared and you're not sitting there with your hands in your pocket not able to do stuff. Alright, so we covered the materials. I didn't mention cardboard, but that was obvious. You're going to need a template and your high density polyethylene, but you're also going to need some working tools. Definitely would be helpful to have a driver, drill with drill bits, jigsaw to cut out your template, and some hand seamers, or maybe you guys could get creative with a table and some C-clamps or something, but we're actually going to use our metal brake over here. That's what we're going to bend these wings with, just so it gives it a nice crisp line like so. So it gives it a nice good finish, but you can probably do that with a couple boards and some C-clamps and maybe a heat gun. And you're going to need a way to attach it, so most of you guys are going to use a rivet gun. But if you don't have one of these and you guys rivet, this thing is the bomb. We'll put the link in the description. We love our electric rivet gun. 10mm screws for this. I didn't cover that, but yeah, you're going to need your splitter supports, or struts some people call them. Put the link in the description. This is the shortest ones we could find, and that worked pretty good for this build. So any shorter might even look funny, I don't know. And then obviously scissors. We prefer our metal tins and a cutter here. And believe it or not, this is what we're going to use to clean up our edge here of all of the sawtooth gunks. And another option, if you guys like tools, one of those Cleco kits is amazing for getting a helping hand there, so you can temporarily rivet stuff together. Rivets, you're going to need rivets too. This stuff is black, so you're going to need some black rivets to make it look good. You could use silver, but we're using 1/8 inch rivets for the side wall here. So on this one, we're probably going to do 4 rivets because we're going to make that go all the way up in a big side splitter there. There's probably a technical name for that. And then you're going to need some 3/16 long ones. I think that these might even be like 9/16 or something like that. They're pretty dang long. That looks like it's 3/4 inch long because it's got to go through all this material. This is what you're going to be riveting underneath through that thickness of material here. Can you guys see that? So that's why you're going to need long ones. We won't need washers with these because these explode. They got 4 little things that curl over. So we'll put a link in the description. We got all this stuff on Amazon to make it easier for you guys and make it easier for us to be able to help you guys build this. So let's get on with the build. Okay, so to make your template, you're going to take your front end off, your front clip, and you are going to need a piece of cardboard. Preferably poster board works better. The corrugated is kind of all we have right now. We've used up all of our good cardboard on stuff. But yeah, just get a big piece of cardboard, a box from, you know, any store or whatever. And we are going to take you're going to need 2 different color markers because the black on the black material, it's a no-go. It's a pain in the butt to see your cut line. So white or silver is preferred. So for the template, we are just going to make room on our table here. Okay, so you're going to lay this out right on the material. So when you're laying it out, you really got to account for how long these wings are going to go. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make our side wing first so that we know how big our template has to be, because as you can see here, if I had big wings coming out, it'd be too short. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use up a big part of this so that I can, heck, this piece of cardboard might even be too small. All right, so I got a big old piece of cardboard for the main part, and then I'm going to use this. We're going to have to make our little side support here. And we only need to make one because it's a mirror image. You just hold it on the other side. So let's figure that out. So we're just going to hold that on there. And I'm just going to cut out the back. Now I can use my Cleco clamps to hold this whole panel in place while I figure out what I'm doing here. Alright, so I got that clamped with my back side cut out. And just going to figure out where we want our side. Now I know I don't want it any bigger than that, so I'm just going to cut it out to make it easier to work with. Alright, let's see what this looks like. So I'm very visual, so I'm going to have to lay this out and see what it all looks like. Okay, kind of like that right there. So that's kind of what I came up with, and I'm going to tape it together and see if I like it. Okay guys, so go ahead and make your side fin however big you want it. I'm making a big old one. We can always trim back. On the display here, we've got like a medium size, and then on our template, we've got like the small little fin. So what we're gonna do is we got our piece of cardboard and we're gonna lay it out and make sure you have enough room to add these on. That's why I'm doing this separate, so that you can adjust to your guys' taste. So, lay your front nose piece down and put your side fin down on each side. Make sure you got enough material to work with. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to trace the back side. So we're just getting an outline of this whole front piece. And what I like to do is I like to make a straight line. Keep your pencil as the same angle as you possibly can. Okay, so that's the exact shape that we have. So you know what you have to work with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to extend this line with the sides. Straightest line as possible. And then, however wide you guys want to make the splitter stick out, let me measure this one. So this one sticks, the top piece that we're going to make first sticks out 1 3/8 further than this nose piece. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure 1 3/8 from any 2 points that are the same. So get your lined up, 1 3/8. I'm going to go to this widest spot right here, and 1 3/8. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slide this forward because we have to make this thicker, right? Keep it on your lines that you made. And once you're on your marked lines, you're going to trace it again. Now, if you're looking at it, it should look pretty symmetric, basically like that. So now what you're going to do, set it on top so you don't put this the wrong way, but you're going to have to add the thickness of your side fin. So that's going to be on there like that. You're just going to lay it down. And then trace that out. And then mirrored image onto the other side. Okay, so we've got our first layer all set to cut out. And there you go, you got it all cut out. What I like to do is I like to go over it with my oscillating belt sander here and get my template all nice and smooth. You know, it's not bad, but there is a couple little jagged areas. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, I guess you don't absolutely have to have one of these tools, but man, it sure is handy, especially when we actually get into smoothing out high density polyethylene. All right, so we got it all cut out. We sanded it on our belt sander there, and we're gonna do a dry fit. So we're gonna lay it out. And as you're doing that, you're gonna want something straight to give you a nice bend on this template. All right, so I got it temporarily clamped down with my Clecos, and this is basically what it's gonna look like. Make sure I got everything the way I like it. And okay, so now that we like the way that our template looks, we're gonna cut out our thick 1/4 inch material. Now this isn't gonna have the side wings. It's gonna be a flat one plane. So, but we do want it to stick out past it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna set that on top. We're gonna move it all the way to the back. And then I barely cut this big enough. So this piece is 8 inches. So I'm going to extend it another, so that one's 1 inch, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take my reference point with my silver marker, and I'm going to do another inch right here, and another inch right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that forward, because that's the furthest point on this right here. So, and remember, I was going to make this stick out past it a little bit. So I'm going to give my marker over here, I don't know, 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take and I'm going to measure a 1/2 inch. Same thing on the other side. So that's the widest spot that it's going to be. And now we're just going to take and we're going to trace our template. You're not going to trace the back because you need to slide that all the way back because we're making this thicker, remember? So slide that back and then give your inside trace. Okay, so there is your bottom piece, all ready to trace, or all ready to cut out. So we've got this thing, so I'm going to unclamp it. Now we have to transfer this . Barely fits, barely fits. Let's see here. Do it on this side. All right, so go ahead and trace your upper thin section. Last but not least, pull off where you taped it down to hold it in place. And there we go, guys. We are ready to start cutting. One note you probably want to do is before you take that off, you're going to want to mark where your bend is. All right, we're ready to get some plastic fly in here. You guys could use a handsaw, hacksaw, whatever, but we're using our Milwaukee. I'm gonna start. All right, so we're ready to cut it out. I'm gonna set this up on some blocks here. They're actually old Corvette tires from drifting, and we're gonna cut this out. We got the first piece cut out. We're going to go ahead and continue making a mess and cut the bottom splitter. Same thing. Okay, so we got the basic shape cut out. What we're going to do now is we're just going to clean up the edges here by running a razor blade over it, and it takes off literally all of that chatter. Now, the more you take your time and the better you do. I try to leave just a little bit of the silver marker so that I can sand right to it, so it's just about gone. All right, it's time to get the belt sander out. All right, we got the first piece pretty much done. We're going to go ahead and scrape all of that leftover plastic off. I don't have to tell you guys, be careful with a sharp razor blade, right? And what this also does, guys, is it gives you a nice beveled edge. So it's not like a hard, crisp edge. It's kind of like routered. If you guys have a router table, you're more than welcome to run it through the router table too. Alright, we cleaned up a couple areas that were a little wobble. Don't worry about the backside too much, guys, because you're never going to see that. You just want this front to be nice and smooth and consistent. Alright guys, I think we like what we've sanded so far, so we're going to put this in the sheet metal brake and we're going to bend our little wings up. Okay, we're really happy with the way that the upper piece went, and we are ready to sand the lower piece. Really like that taller side fin. Oh yeah. And then towards the end, you can do a little bit of final sanding and wipe it down with some acetone to get rid of any of your marks. All right, so we got it sanded and pretty darn good, and this is basically what you're going to be coming up with. I think the next step is final sanding. I don't need to show you that, guys. Just take a little bit of probably 220 sandpaper and sand that smooth, and then we're going to get onto the support struts. Okay guys, we're getting on to the home stretch here. We're going to do the support struts. I did leave the link in the description, and on this build right here, can't remember how many millimeters they are. They're come metric, but they're kind of hard to find this short. So we have already taken off the grill because we had to remove it from the vehicle. We tried all different kinds of options. So here is your grill, and take artistic freedom, guys. You can put it into the license plate holder. And I didn't mention this, and I don't know where it is, but stock, it comes with this little license plate. It says Power Wheels. A lot of people like to pop those out. I personally think it makes it look less like a toy. We usually just take a heat gun and heat the little tabs up in the back, and it literally pulls out by hand. Then you can reuse it if you ever want to put it back in. So we tried it with the grill in, just through the license plate. We tried it by just cutting off a couple of these. I'm going to post a picture. I don't know where it is, but we tried it with just the side things. Yeah, we just literally liked it best with no grill in here. And we are probably going to end up doing a video where we actually cut this out. We put in some black mesh and we mount twin turbos behind here. So that's on our list of things to do. But for right now, what you're going to need, if you're going to do it exactly like we do, is what size is this? 15/64 drill bit, and we literally just drill out the stock location, and that allows these threaded struts to fit right in there. Now, depending on how you guys want to do it, if you want to do it straight or you want to do it at an angle, the ones we did on the display, we did it so it held these two pieces together. But you could easily maybe even hot glue gun that or what. But we're going to try a little bit different route. I don't know. And you got to be careful where you put these, because you're drilling a hole and you got kind of one shot. Luckily, these actually have a pretty big flange on it, so if you are off a little bit, you could elongate that hole. So we're going to leave that up to you guys. Wherever you want to mount those, whatever looks aesthetically pleasing, go with it. So we're going to mock those up. Kind of like to do them straight. What do you guys think? What do you guys like best? Straight? An angle? Because it does change, because when you go down, it's going to shorten it. So these have somewhat of an adjustment, but when you do that, it makes the carbon fiber insert sloppy. So measure twice, cut once, or measure twice, drill once, guys. So we're gonna think about this, figure out where we're gonna put it. Okay guys, so I decided on this particular version to go with straight struts, and in order to do that, because it would have been on the transition between those two lips, so I just took the Dremel tool, and I marked the center line of it, and I just kind of made two little divots in there so that it sat flush with this lower, thicker piece. If you guys like it, there's option A or option B, or who knows what you guys are gonna come up with, so do something else. Make it cool, make it yours. So really all that's left is we're gonna rivet this guy together. As you can see, I've got the Cleco clips holding this on so that you can actually adjust it and get it tweaked exactly. I'm telling you, if you guys don't have these, Christmas is coming up. That's all I'm saying. So I like to start with the side fins. So I'm going to start down here and just kind of work my way up. I'm going to do one at the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of eyeball and mark it so that they're evenly spaced apart. I just like the symmetry of it. All right, so all that's left is riveting it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our 1/8" rivets and our 1/8" drill. I'm going to measure up 3/4 of an inch. Get it where you need it to be so that everything looks nice and flush. And those Clecos hold. So 3/4 of an inch up and 3/4 of an inch down. All right, so I'm going to drill one right there and one right there. All right, we're getting ready to rivet this, and the beauty of this Milwaukee cordless is you literally just insert your rivet, stick it in your hole, and it even holds your empty rivet tips. So start the next one and it's ready. All I gotta do is drill this hole up here. I'm actually gonna move this Cleco down so that I don't have any humps. Okay. I don't know, maybe we'll get away with 3. I'm going to put one right in the middle. There you go, guys. Bam! Same thing to the side, guys. Okay, and then for the bottom, because that's going to tie everything together, this whole unit, we're going to use the bigger 3/16. So we need different, and then on these expandable rivets that we're going to use, not there. On these expandable rivets, we're going to actually go one size larger than 3/16. So we're just going to swap this out. Locked and loaded. All right, for this, I mean, I don't get all fancy, I mean, with measuring and stuff, because you're not gonna see this at all. It's literally gonna be underneath and behind the whole grill. So basically you just wanna start at the outside. And then in the middle of the middle. Of course, that cleat goes right where I want to drill. Alright guys, so there you go. That is how you make a custom front splitter for your C7. This will apply to other models, so hopefully you guys can take these tips and apply it to your model. And all you got to do is install the 7 screws and this thing is good to go. But that's it. So we got some other upcoming videos on the C7. We're going to do custom rear tail light. We're going to make Lexan lenses because they come with sucky stickers. So we're going to do custom lenses with the LEDs, links to all that stuff because they just look amazing. They look so much better. We're going to do a speed boost, 18 volt Milwaukee drill battery or cordless tool battery, and the 3D printed adapter. This right here is 12 amp hour. And it will make this thing scoot. And if there's any other videos you guys want to see on these C7s, give us a message down below. Leave a comment, and if it's a cool idea, nothing ridiculous, we will do a video on it. So that being said, give us a thumbs up, click that notification bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.